Hello there, everybody. I'm Josh Quirk, and this is your Blue Edge Energy Weekly Market Snapshot. And here are some quick hits for you to pay attention to. Number one, the March gas contract has fallen off the books, kind of at a quiet close, $4.56.8 a decatherm, despite everything going on. And number two, Mad Putin's war threatens unknown risks for commodity futures market. Let's jump into this. The March contract, as stated before, fell off the books at $4.56.8 per decatherm. This bar graph here provides some further data points about the prompt month movement before the settle as of yesterday when you read this. And with that being complete, we set our sights on April pricing. Now, the April gas contract closed yesterday at $4.64.1 per decatherm. Here's a quick depiction of its price movement over the past 12 months. Go ahead and notice the ups and downs of the past few months alone. It's been an interesting ride. Their current regional cash out price for Chicago is $4.74.5 a decatherm. Meanwhile, the cash out price for Ventura is at $5.36 per decatherm. Again, these prices are rather important because we take the averages of the dailies for the month, and that becomes our sellback or our purchase price if we need more gas in a given month. Now, the following graph here is a price chart over the next 4 years of futures. Notice the price trends over time continues to go lower as we go further out. We are up in price in the prompt months week over week from what we saw last week to this week. And this is also a good time for a quick plug that we'll be issuing our RFPs starting next month for our clients and looking at longer term contract pricing in that process. And here's the reason why is what you saw in that graph. Here's the same information on a bar graph focusing strictly on the winter pricing exclusively. Next winter, November to March, strip prices at $4.87.1. Meanwhile, the winter strip for 2023-2024 sits at $3.86.3. And the winter beyond that, all the way out to 2025, is at $3.66.7. We are going to go ahead and shift our gears to this week's storage report. The EIA storage report showed a negative 129 BCF change to ground storage inventory, which you can see on this graph. This graph also examines the highs and lows over the last 10 years, and you can kind of see that we sit in the middle of all that. This puts our current overall ground inventory at 1,782 BCF, which is 209 BCF below last year's storage and 214 behind the 5-year average. And we may make some ground up on that over the next week or two. Now, a quick look at the weather. The Wisconsin short-term weather forecast is calling for temperatures with a little bit of warming going into the mid-30s, maybe into the low 40s with nighttime temps down into the 20s again. And meanwhile, on the 8 to 14-day weather forecast, calling for above normal temperatures for much of the east and Texas with below normal temperatures out in the west. A little bit of a shift warmer since last week's forecast. And now, some final parting notes. Somewhat surprisingly, the March gas contract expired relatively quiet today at $4.56.8 a decatherm, despite the shock being experienced in many commodities markets as a result of Mr. Mad Putin's war. Word last night was that several LNG tankers already on the high seas had diverted from their Asian markets and were now bound for Europe. The USA continues to export record amounts of LNG. The choke point is going to be Europe's ability to receive those LNG tankers. It now seems obvious that Germany would have been much better off to build LNG import facilities rather than inking a deal with Mr. Putin's Nord Stream 2 pipeline. One question that remains is our ability to maintain or increase USA gas production. The expectation is yes, we can do it, as numerous energy companies have already put forth their 2022 CapEx, capital expenditure plans, with large increases for drilling activity in this year. That combined with $100 per barrel oil would suggest that the market expectation for around 3 BCF a day of new gas coming online in 2022 is a likely scenario. That being said, have a wonderful weekend on behalf of all of us here at Blue Edge Energy. Take care.